Live?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't get a notification. So, like, I'm gonna tell the viewers so they know. Like, I don't host, so I get the YouTube notification that Tiki Taka is going live. So I didn't get it this time. So I was like, are we live or are we not live? Okay, so there we go. Now I know we're live. So
And
hello,
we're
everybody.
live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 73 of the Tiki Taka podcast. I'm your host, Peter, and today I'm joined by Cynthia. Um, Cynthia? Okay. That was weird. We'll get back to Cynthia, I guess. Steph?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
And two guests. We got Alex here.
Right. What's going on, everybody?
There
Hello.
you go. And Bruno from Three Tugas.
What's pasos, everybody?
All right. So, I mean, we lost Cynthia. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but
She's curling.
Do a key.
She's
Okay,
curling.
I see you now. Like I was waiting on you to say stuff, and you were just quiet. So.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I wanted to give Alex, like some time to talk first about him and stuff, because I think he's got an interesting story. So why don't you tell the viewers who you are, and if they don't know about your podcast too.
Yeah, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm on Twitter. I'm Mr. Mello. If most of you follow me, most of Benfiquistas follow me. I do a podcast. You may have seen it, may have not. High on Sports. We talk about just everything, really. I try to get my buddy Trevor, who's an American who doesn't watch soccer. I try to push him to watch soccer, so we have a little bit of fun with that. Football, sorry, football.
Just messing with you.
He's getting to me already.
Yeah,
that's what he calls it. Yeah, man, we have it. We're actually doing a show today, so I'll be posting the link if you guys want to follow me. It's at Mr. Mello with a 0. Yeah, man, I'm a big Benfiquista fan. I listen to the Tiki Taka podcast a lot. I'm excited for today. Yeah, for sure. I'm excited today. Bruno's here today too. I'm excited for that. I'm a big Three Tugas fan, so yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait to talk some soccer or some football.
Football. There you go. We will be talking off air, and if people want to listen, you guys are going to talk UFC, and I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about Martellus Bennett getting cut by the Packers, which I thought is really interesting. That just popped up. Thought that was weird. So, I mean, people, if you want to check out Mr. Mel's podcast, just make sure you follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, come check me out, man. Thanks.
Yeah, and Bruno, you want to say something? I mean, people know you, but I don't know if you want to say stuff like.
Well, hey man, you got to come out and got to listen to Three Tugas as well. I mean, we got a great show. We bring a lot of controversy. It gets very heated in our shows. It's very entertaining for the 2 hours that we're basically recording. And I've known Steph for many years, over 20 years now, and he asked me to come on the show as a guest, and I said, you helped me out, so I got to help him out. So we got to do what we got to do to help each other out.
Right. I mean, if you guys want to listen to like people talking to each other, like almost normally, you can follow us. If you want to see people go at him, and just like completely smash their clubs, go with Three Tugas, because controversial. I cannot speak today.
Controversy runs at a premium at Three Tugas.
So
it's fun though. It's fun. I love the show personally.
So there you go. I was just saying. All right, so we got a lot to get to today. So why not start off with something that we barely start with, Sporting maybe. I don't know, Steph, you ready? I put you on the spot.
No, that's fine. Of course I'm ready, man. I was born ready. To speak about the love of my life, I'm always ready, man. So here we go. So we played on November 5th. Which was on Sunday against Braga at home, and the lineup was the following. So we had Rui Patricio, the one and only
São
goal.
Patricio.
Yeah,
São
you-
Patricio.
Yeah,
Some-
you got that wrong.
Hey, listen, you guys want to call him San Patricio, that's fine. I call him by his proper name, the way he was born, which is Rui Patricio,
Are
okay?
you serious?
You
Yeah.
are the one who says
You're
São
the one who
Patricio
got it.
all the time.
Hey, listen, listen, Benfiquistas, can I finish the line out, please?
Fine, fine.
I'll try. I'll try to let you. I'll try.
I highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being polite. Thank you. So then the right fullback was Stefan Witkowski. Then we had Coates and then Pinto as center backs, and then Jonathan Silva as the left back. Then we had up the middle Gelson Martins, Bruno Fernandes, Bataglia, Acuna, and then up front, surprisingly, Bruno Cesar supporting Bas Dost. So, what can I say about this game? This game, for a Sporting fan and even for a Braga fan, it was a lot of nerves. The first half was divided. Both teams, they pressure each other pretty good. I personally don't like these kind of games because it gives me heartburn, but big time. But the nil-nil at the,
For that, querido.
I know, and I take it, Zentak. So you have a choice in America. There's many medicines you can take. But the 0-0 at the halftime was actually the proper score at a halftime. No one deserved really to score. And then in the second half, like it happens all the time, we got the 1-0, which was the most difficult thing to accomplish was to score, and we finally did. Bas Dost at minute 66. And then again, like always, we let Braga, regain possession of the ball and let them gain confidence. And then they scored on a penalty, which was a penalty, no doubts about that. And then Danilo with an amazing goal from at minute 89 from outside the box. Again, he'll never score a goal like this ever in his freaking life. But against Sporting, he did. But that was a really beautiful goal with a deflection, I believe. Yeah. So then Braga was winning 2-1, and I thought that was it. I'm like, that's it. We lost. And then didn't turn off the TV. I still had some hope. I was hoping for Bacalhau, and he showed up with Bacalhau. So we got a penalty, and that penalty was also a penalty. And I know you guys will bring up some stuff, and we'll talk about that. And then we end up tying the game 2-2. Do I think that the tie was a fair result? I don't think so. I think Sporting should have won the game. We had plenty of opportunities. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I counted them, and but we didn't, and that's the way it is. And this is a long season. It's 34 games. We still have 23 games left, and the champion will be who's the most regular. So for now, Porto is the better team, but tying against Braga, it's not shameful at all. This is one of the better teams in the Portuguese league, and we tied against Porto. That's not the end of the world. So we're still in good shape. We haven't lost. So we're still in the hunt for the title. So that's all.
I'm gonna let Cynthia. You watched the game, right? So I just want to know what you thought.
I put it on mute because I had a headache, so I turned it off. I'm sick, so sorry to everybody who's listening.
That's fine.
I know. Sorry
about it. Don't worry about it.
And then the games continue because I just put on Portuguese Liga or Sport TV, and the games will just continue. It's like 3 or 4 of them in a row. So Sporting comes on, and it's whenever Bas Dost scores, I just mute. I don't want to hear it. A little bit because of Salty, and then a little bit because I know I'm going to hear it from Steph. But a few things did happen, Steph, that you did like to leave out there, and I'll let you get back to them. But I just wanted to say, as a Benfiquista last week, you're pulling me and Peter through the coals about VAR. What happened in your game with VAR, sweetheart?
Okay, give me the specific play, and I'll explain to you.
I don't do a
All right.
specific
Well,
play. It's not my team.
All right. Let's get into the disallowed goal for Braga. Like,
Oh, there you go. Yeah, start with something.
the terrible
Okay.
decision by Shistra to not let the play go on when they are specifically told to let the play finish and watch the VAR review the offside. But what do you think about it, Steph? I want to hear your thoughts about it.
Exactly. So basically, if you go to a Bola Record, o Jogo, it doesn't matter which newspapers. I'll include even the Sporting official newspaper. No one is saying that the guy was offside. Everyone agrees that he was onside. But Shistra actually is the one who fucked up. When he blew the whistle before the play ended, he basically didn't give a chance for VAR to review the play. So you can review a play if the whistle is blown. So we can blame that on Carlos Shistra. And before anybody says that he was helping Sporting, check his track record. He doesn't really favor Sporting a whole lot. I think it was an honest mistake by him. But let's say if he didn't whistle, then it would have been a goal. And even if the linesman, when he raised the flag, if the VAR kicked in, it would have been a good goal. And it's shameful. It is shameful. I'm not going to argue, oh, no, he was offside by a finger or by a toe. No, that's not me. You're not going to hear me say that. But, it's a shameful that Carl Schuster's messed up, but especially he's an international referee. But that's it.
All right. So I know there's penalty claims on Paldian's play, which I didn't see. I know Braga also claimed another penalty, but the Paldian's one, speaks to you, to Sporting. Do you think that that's a penalty? Do you think that was a mistake as well? Because I saw it on also every cover that was a penalty. So I don't know. What do you think of the Paldian's play? I don't know which one it is, but I'm pretty sure you probably do.
Yeah, I saw the replay, and the guy stepped on his foot, and clearly, I don't know if he did in a malicious way, and I think that's what the referee was looking at.
So is it like a 50-50 call where you're like not too bothered that he wasn't called?
No, not really. I wasn't bothered at all, actually. If I was the referee, I don't think I would have called it. I mean, you step on each other all the time. I don't really think he did it intentionally in a malicious way. So, if I was the referee, I don't think I would have called it either. So, I know many Sporting say, "Oh, it's penalty," but let's be realistic. Let's score these chances we produce, and let's stop hunting for penalties that don't exist. So.
All right, and I think the last worthy play to talk about is obviously the penalty for Sporting in the 90th something minute, where Dumbia fouls. I think it's Ricardo Ferreira or something, and then a couple seconds later, there's the penalty by Ricardo Lota. What do you think about that play?
Well, if we're going to call every single play a foul, might as well not even watch football. Let's give it up. And I can invite you guys to my daughter's ballet, which is every Monday at 6 p.m. And you can we can watch ballet. I think
can we cheer, or do we have to be quiet?
Yeah, of course you can cheer. You can even spell it like cheerleaders.
I'm in.
Yeah, you can. But the thing is, I think friends are getting a little bit out of control as far as, you should have been yellow card for this, should have been yellow card for that. Football is beautiful when it's physical. If you take that element out of it, then it's useless. So for me, I didn't think it was a foul because every single player, when they jump up for a ball, every single one uses their elbows. And then we could go back to Benfica, Guimarães, or Guimarães Benfica, because they played at Guimarães, and you see every single player from Guimarães and Benfica and Porto and Belenenses and Sporting Braga, everyone, when they jump, they use the elbows. And why? To protect themselves. So could he call that foul? Yes, he could have called it because I've seen it called before, but he didn't. So that's again another 50-50 play. But afterwards, he fouled him, and that was a penalty. And he reminds me of the last penalty from Benfica. Remember when everybody said it was a foul before the penalty, and then it was a penalty, and then they scored anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Thankfully, ours almost basically didn't change the result of the game, but that's all right. I mean, I just wanna get Bruno involved on this because I think Bruno probably has like a completely different opinion from Steph. So, Bruno, what do you make of these refereeing mistakes in the Sporting Braga game?
Well, I think the problem right now, and I said it in the podcast this week for Three Tugas, was the following: the VAR in Portugal, the referees are just low quality, and they don't know what they're doing. They're not trained properly, and the ones that are there should not be there because they don't have the quality to be either a referee on the field or the VAR. In Portugal, there's that problem of I don't know when to go to the VAR. When am I supposed to go to the VAR? Should I go to the VAR? They have no clue. These referees are not at the level of the play in
What are
Portugal.
they not? Are they not instructed before the VAR came into play that what they should do?
Here's the problem. Everywhere else in Europe, the VAR is working properly, except for one
Except
country,
in
in
except in
Portugal.
Germany. Except in Germany.
No, Germany's working. Germany's working properly.
I'm pretty sure that the head of the VAR just got fired for
He got
favoring.
fired,
Exactly.
and
They did nothing
and
about it. You got
and
fired.
this is what happened when you benefit a club, and he would benefited a specific club apparently. What happens is you lose your job. In Portugal, that does not happen.
That's a compliment, actually, in Portugal.
That does not happen. People do not lose their jobs when they make mistakes and costly mistakes because there's coaches that lose their jobs. There's players that lose their positions on the roster. There's there's clubs that lose millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars because of bad decisions on referees throughout the season. Some teams lose titles because of bad decisions made because of referees. So at the end of the day,
So I don't mean to interrupt.
these
But
referees are issues.
why don't referees get fired then? Because it seems in
That's
every
it.
sport,
But here's the problem.
even in baseball, like if you make a mistake, even in the MLB, right? I know I'm switching up, but it's the same thing as far as making a mistake. Like you don't get penalized or you don't get fined or fired. Like you can't get fired if you're an MLB ref beyond really getting caught cheating. There's no mistake you can make on the field that will get you fired. Maybe there's some more fault that needs to be put on the referees on
No,
the field.
the issue in Portugal is how the way the things are set up that it basically allows you to almost rig who goes up and who stays down. That's the biggest issue. But Bruno, do go on.
No, I mean, I think in this particular game there was a lot of mistakes. I think in the first goal, the problem here is again the referees don't have the quality of letting the play develop and then going to the VAR. They're very quick to making a decision. The decision was a bad decision because the player was onside, and it could have been a legal goal for Braga. But you know what? Let the play on, let it develop, and then go to the VAR. The Portuguese refs don't seem like they're developed and they're not trained properly to do that. That's number one. The whole Doumbia play, I said also on the podcast, and it's the same thing I'm going to say here, is these fans have to stop with it's a foul, he didn't let him jump. It's a contact sport. It happens. There's contact in the sport of soccer. There's not a foul. I don't see it as a foul. I see two guys going up for the ball. Hey, one of them missed or whatever. They didn't make the play on the ball correctly, and Sporting benefited. You know who you should be crucifying is was it Ricardo Horta for committing such a stupid foul? Why would you try to foul that way in the box? Why would you try to challenge a ball in that particular way in the box the way he did to commit a penalty when you're up 2-1 on the road? That is stupidity.
I'm not even sure why a winger is inside the box.
Inside the box, right? I was thinking that.
But you could,
regardless, it don't matter. You're playing at a professional level, at a very high level. You should have the enough experience to not commit those type of fouls and not to make those type of challenges in the box. He did it. He got caught. He cost his team 2 points.
But I could say the same thing about Coates. because the player was not going to get to the ball. It was going straight to Rui Patricio, and Coates made a huge mistake, and then he cost us a penalty. I could say the same thing about Coates.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about this particular play because that's the one that was scrutinized the most. The one on Podens, again, contact sport, I don't see there was a penalty. The one on Danilo, there was, I think, a penalty on Danilo that Braga's claiming. I don't see a penalty there either. It's a contact sport. I look back, I compare a lot of fouls and what would be called in the EPL, because I think the EPL has the best referees. Most of those calls, 75% of the fouls called in Portugal will not be called fouls in Portugal. I mean, in the EPL, it's just not happening. The problem is the culture in Portugal that you can't be touched, and guys go right down and they look for the foul. They look more for the foul than they actually have the ability to break away and try to make a play, to goal. That's the problem with the mentality in Portugal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Just one more thing, Peter. The offside that we're talking about against Braga, there's a player that actually makes a move, and that player throws off the linesman. So I don't know, even with the VAR, I don't know if the VAR would have said no. But let me finish. I don't know if the VAR would have said no. The guy went for the ball, and that guy was offside, the first one. They still could have called it offside.
I don't think they would have, but that's just me. That's just me.
But
maybe sorry, but to say, I just wanted to say that maybe they also go the NFL way, where it's like if it's called the ruling on the field is actually what they end up staying with. So I don't know.
Well, the problem here is also, again, there's been a lot of controversy about the nominations. How would you call, or why would you put Rui Costa in this game after what he did, was it two games ago at Stadio Alvalade, where he purposely missed a penalty or two penalties or whatever it was against Sporting, and now you put him again? You're asking for this type of stuff, and this is what pushes fans away in Portugal. This is not what calls fans to go to watch games. They push them away more than they call them.
I mean, I could have made the case that Suarez Diaz should have been in that game because it wasn't needed for the Guimarães game. But it is what it is. They choose whatever they want.
We'll go into the Guimarães Benfica game in a minute, because I'm very curious to see what the Benfica fans on the panel have to say about the officiating in that game.
Oh, I thought it was terrible, but for both sides. So, anyway, but we'll get to that. So, does anybody else want to say anything about the VAR in the Sporting game or the Sporting game?
The only last thing I would like to say about the Sporting Braga is the Braga players, for some reason, the same way they started the game, they finished the same way, nice and
my God. You're not gonna go with it.
I don't know what they had to drink, but holy shit, they felt nice and fresh. And then their president running to a sala do conferência. Damn, he's fit. That guy, he's really fit.
They're all on drugs.
Yeah, but he didn't do it like 2 months ago when Benfica won at Braga, and they had a
one at the
play.
Luz, but that was 3-1, and that was a goal that would have made it 3-2.
They had a controversy call, but he didn't care about saying anything about that, because
I know, but it would have made it 3-2, and it would have been it wasn't going to change a win to a draw. So,
but I mean, as you know, Braga is called os Lampions
right.
do Norte.
But I mean, I could make the same case for Domingos Paciência, saying that there's not a penalty that Felipe committed when it's a clear as penalty. Oh, Domingos Paciência, former Porto player.
Clear where?
A flip. I mean, come on, the flip. But we'll get to that.
We'll talk about that later. But okay.
I'm done with Sporting. I'm done.
Okay. Did anybody else want to say anything else about Sporting then?
Nope. I think. Oh, I do want to say something about the VAR. I think it's just another. I do think it's just another thing that convolutes Portuguese soccer. I mean, it's just another thing to complain about, another thing to blame, another thing to go to and point to. It's not perfect. I don't think it'll ever be perfect in Portugal. Unless they
make things worse.
It's just going to make things worse. Yeah, it's just going to make things worse.
I disagree. I think if you get the referees, batch of referees, because there are ones that have no business being in the first division because
You're
we
not
got to
gonna
look
get them
back.
out. You can't get them out, but that's
Oh,
the
yes, you
issue.
can.
Well, you're
It's
looking at
called.
getting. I mean, that's getting international. That's talk. You would have to get international referees in Portugal if you really
Oh
want to
God,
fix
let's
this.
not start with that. We
Well,
talked
I
about
know,
it
I
last week.
know,
I
I
don't want
know,
to
I
move on.
know, I know, I know. But it's
we could fix it. We could fix it because a lot of these guys have no business being in the first division. They don't have the. Remember, they became internationals with only 2 years of experience. How do you go from the
Listen,
districts
I
to
do
the?
agree. I totally agree with you, but the issue is that the whole thing's rigged.
It's rigged, but com o povo isso já vai acabar.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll see. All right. Well, well, if you don't mind me moving on now.
Move on, pal. Move on.
To let's go to Benfica then. Let's talk Guimarães Benfica. So Guimarães 1, Benfica 3. So there you go. That was a scoreline. We had Sevillar in goal, André Almeida, Luizão, Ruben Dias, and Eliseu across the back. Obviously, Grimaldo picked up a knock, in the last game, so he was replaced by Eliseu. Feza, Pizzi, and Krovinovic in midfield. Very interesting midfield. Diogo Gonçalves and Salvio on the wings, with Jonas playing as the lone striker. I'm gonna go first, then I'm gonna let Cynthia, then Alex, you go ahead and share your thoughts on the game. So I thought it was a interesting performance by Benfica. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I really enjoyed the three-man midfield. I thought PC had a good game, which was somewhat of a miracle, but I mean, it kind of cost him because he got replaced 55 minutes in, so it just kind of shows the amount of effort he put in that, 50 minutes into the game, he was already really tired. Krovinovic is really a facilitator. He's just a really good player. I like the fact that these front three of BZ, Krovinovic, and Jonas was really mobile. So, you didn't know where they were going to be. You could have Krovinovic as a striker, then PZ was a striker, So, a lot of movement confused Guimarães a lot. But, Benfica get a very good goal. And, they kind of just coasted home for the last, few minutes of the first half. Then the second half started with Guimarães, forcing and trying to get their goal. But, Benfica ended up scoring a good goal by Samaris, which I thought was the right substitution to make as well, because we were losing power in the midfield, and Rui Vitória at least didn't take any time to make that substitution. We made it 2-0, against the tide of the game. Yeah, but, when you're the better team and you have the better players, it's always going to happen, especially when they leave so much space open like they did. And then, after that, Salvio gets a very good goal. In my opinion, it's a very, very good goal. Make it 3-0, and then, the team kind of shuts off, and Rafael Martins does have that goal 85 minutes in, something like that, make the scoreline a little bit better. And then André Almeida commits a stupid-ass penalty, but, thankfully for us, he ends 3-1 and not 3-2. But, in the end, I don't think there's any discussion as to who should have won that game. Cynthia, what do you say?
Can you actually let Alex go first? My little one just ran up the stairs. I'll be right back.
Sure thing. So
sounds good. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I agree with a lot you said. I like the lineup change. Not the lineup change, the formation change. I think the three-man midfield does better for the type of players that Rui Vitória wants to play. Gonçalves, Pizzi, he wasn't playing very great, but I didn't know where this notion came from that Jonas couldn't play alone up top. I think he looked very comfortable in that position, especially with Krovinovic playing right behind him, creating that space, playing in space. The one thing I did notice was that Krovinovic, I do want to praise him, because to me he was the best part of the game to me. He plays in space. He was doing a lot of what Pizzi wasn't doing, keeping the ball at his feet and facilitating. Because the first goal, that pass out to Almeida, and I know Almeida needs to make the pass to Jonas, and it needs to be perfect. But Krovinovic was playing in space. He's seeing Krovinovic. That was vision. He got it out to Almeida, and we got a goal. 21 minutes in, Jonas finished it. That's what he does. I like the kid a lot. I think that moving forward, they should play like this. Krovinovic play right behind Jonas. That way, Jonas doesn't have to track back so much like he's been doing. When they're playing with two strikers up top, Jonas usually is basically a center mid in my eyes most of the time. And this time he was able to be free, go out there, and I thought he had a great game. Peasy as well. He hasn't been playing very well, but I thought today, like you said, 50 minutes in, he was already tired. He put a lot of effort in, and he finally had a good match in my eyes. Guimarães didn't do nothing really during the match to really put a lot of pressure on Sular. I mean, he gave up that goal later on in the game in the match. He was going one way. He had him leaning. And he scored. And he had him leaning. You could see it. He had happy feet. He had him leaned to one side, and boom, he buried the goal in the right corner. And it was a nice goal. I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from it. Sular shouldn't get. I saw a lot of things on Twitter. People were giving, Sular shouldn't be the goalie for this and that. He's 18 years old. It's ridiculous. He's 18 years old. He's not the only 18-year-old goalie out there, guys. It's not like this is some brand new idea that Benfica is the only team out there with a goalie who's 18.
And he didn't even make any mistakes. So,
and he didn't make a mistake, right? The guy it was a good goal.
It was more of the defense also being a little bit more relaxed than anything else. Because whenever you can't put the blame on the goalkeeper, right? I mean,
right? They didn't touch him at all. Like he was literally in the box untouched. I mean, it was a nice shot. Like I won't sit here and take anything away from that goal or Svilar either, because like I said, he had him leaning. And there's no way he was going to have that goal. Almeida later on with the penalty in extra time. It was dumb. He missed it, thank God. But
the ball wasn't even going anywhere near.
It wasn't even going anywhere near him. Yeah, it was a bad taken shot. I'm glad it didn't end 3-2 either, because it wouldn't have been indicative of how Benfica played.
Right.
I'm not saying that this is the game that turned everything around and now we're hunting.
No, but it was
you know what I mean.
Solid,
but it was a very solid performance. Yeah, especially against Guimarães. It wasn't bad either. But my guy was Krovinovic. I thought playing him, plays in space. That's what I noticed about him. Like Peasy wasn't doing that. Like there's so much field in front of Peasy, and he wants to get the ball out of his possession too fast.
He's eager to pass the ball. Yeah.
Right. There's so much. I mean, you got 10, 15 yards in front of you. Take the space. And Krovinovic was doing that. And I thought it was great. And like I said, I don't know where this idea came from that Jonas can't be a lone striker. Like, who said that? Like, I don't know where this stat came from or who made this up. But I thought he looked great out there. He
looked really good. Yeah.
He looked really good. Yeah, that was my thoughts on it. And Diogo. And Diogo, it looks like he's he won that spot. He had a nice couple shots off that corner of Peasy. I was hoping that he could get his first goal and kind of like make Rui Vitoria like, okay, like this is why he picked me to come here. I'm waiting for that goal. Like not picking me to come here, but pick me to start. This is why I'm here. And I've been waiting for that goal to come for him. And he almost had it off that corner.
Yeah, I'm only like just want to say that I feel really sorry for Rafa, because this is the way that we're playing, or the way that we played against Manchester United both games, and the way that we played against Guimarães, like this is where he would fit. There were a lot of diagonal plays by Gonçalves. She was showing up in the middle, a lot. And I'm happy that he's playing, but I'm also sad, to see a player that would totally fit this system and it would make the team better, just like be completely out of the team, not even being called up when the team's playing exactly the way that, he likes to play. So it's kind of annoying to me, because I'm not one of those that blames, like Rafa for being the quote-unquote flop that he is, because I think it was more the system and the fact that Rui Vitória just can't develop wingers to save his life. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Cynthia, are you back yet?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, so go ahead, Alex, and then I'll let Cynthia.
I was going to say, well, he doesn't develop them because, you got a guy like Zivkovic who's on the bench, and I know the Salvio, I get a lot of stuff for not liking Salvio a lot, and I'm not the biggest fan of Salvio. I'm not, I think, and I've called him this before, he's a habitual shot waster. Like, that's what he is. He constantly wastes opportunities. He does something like this. He has a nice goal every now and then to buy him a couple more matches, a couple more starts. But I don't think that he should, if we're going to play like this, if this is basically it was a 4-2-3-1 is what we really played. I mean, if you really look at the lineup and how I saw it.
Not quite. Yeah, but with PZ next to Kravinovic. They
Right,
were
right, and it interchanged. It did. But like just on paper, the way it's set up, I mean,
yeah.
Ziethen's starting on the other side of Diogo. I mean, it could be so dynamic out there with all these guys playing, you know, with a lot of space and a lot of opportunities. And I just think Salviu's, I don't know, he's run his course with me. And you know, he does something like this. Like I said, he had a nice goal to buy him a couple more matches. So Ruby
Yeah,
Putty says, "See, that's why I started him."
Yeah, no, that's true. I do agree with you. But I just wanted to point that out. Cynthia, what did you think about the game?
So I thought it wasn't fantastic, but I thought it was a good game in a hostile territory because Guimarães they are not nice to any of the big three. And I mean, even when we visited in May, like you guys know, Mario and I wear Benfica shirts all the time. Like, I'm sorry, jerseys are expensive. They're going to be my all-day clothes. So anywhere we went and we'd be like, hey, we want to buy the scarf from your team. People were great. The Guimarães people were like, why are you wearing that? Like, I'm not from here, but I'd like a scarf. You know, they're the only ones that gave us attitude. It was them and somebody else gave Mario attitude, which was hilarious. But anyways, so it's super hostile territory for any of the big three. Guimarães feel like they should be part of that big three atmosphere, and they are. Like we can debate that they're part of like the big four. You know what I mean? Like if we make it a 4,
if they didn't have,
and then we'd have to make it a 5, and la la la.
They have just they just have this stupid complex where everything's
inferiority.
It's kind of pissing me off. Yeah,
you guys got
to
hold on. You guys got to understand something about Guimarães fans. Guimarães fans don't have any other club other than Guimarães. Out of all the teams in Portugal, Braga, you know, majority are, you know, Benfica fans. And then so on and so forth. Other clubs, Belenenses, Benfica fans. But these guys, they're 100% Vitória fans, and that's it. Yep. That's why you probably got the slack of like, yo, why do you want these scarves?
Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here? Like,
they said
you
that
are an
at
outsider.
The game.
It doesn't matter.
At the Taka game, they were very vocal about it too. They were on the news because Mario went solo. He had taken Rui to the Tetra game, but then he went solo to the that other game, and it was again Guimarães, and they were vocal about it. They were on the news, and they were saying our fans are Guimarães, and we are Guimarães. That's it. And then they were saying exactly what you're saying. All you other fans are plastic.
That's why I love.
I was like, thanks, guys.
Fans. I just hate their inferiority complex, where like, you know, like for example, the very good atmosphere that they had throughout a certain portion of the game was completely ruined by shouting out the Benfica swear words, where it doesn't even make any sense. Like your team, pull for your team like you were doing. That's the only thing that pissed me off about Guimarães fans, because I love them, but I hate that they have that inferiority complex where they have to bring the other teams down. Like, you don't have to do that to be great fans. You are amazing fans. Just don't do that.
You know what? Too, it seemed like in the beginning of the game, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt, but in the beginning,
cool.
all that delay.
Oh yeah.
It seemed like it seemed like Guimarães fans were fighting Guimarães fans. Like
they were.
Can I tell you what looked like to me?
Benfica fans are on the other side of
the other side of the field. Yeah.
Yeah. So what it looked like to me,
I don't think you guys have all the. I don't think you guys have all the facts right, because there was about 100 Benfica fans that started that fight.
I looked like I didn't. And all I seen was a guy walk out the end of it with a bloody nose.
You know, all I'm gonna say, Bruno,
somebody got
that
shot.
I've been on that stand. That stand is for sausage. That's all I'm saying. That stands for sausage.
But they came. What happened was they came around and they started to do something, and then the police got involved, and that's how all that confusion started.
Well, from what I heard about the Peugeot or whatever, that their report, they completely, you know, let Benfica fans out of the issue. So that, you know, and I know because I've been to that stadium and that stand is only for sausage, so I do know that. So it's hard for me to believe, you know, I'm sorry if I'm skeptical to believe that Benfica fans caused that problem.
Well, that's what, you know, that's according to the report, but
I know, I'm just sharing my 2 cents from what I also know from experience of being there.
And from what I've seen of the security, come on, guys. That doesn't make sense, right?
No, especially because of the images pre-game, and I'm sorry to cut everybody off here, but you saw like Benfica fans were just passing by, and Guimarães fans, they managed to pull the fence down. Like they were the ones starting that that bad atmosphere, and who doesn't know if it was Guimarães fans going against the police, and the police used their batons or whatever, and then everybody started running onto the field, and maybe that was what happened, and not
I didn't
related to the
see
Benfica fans.
personally. I didn't see, and obviously I'm not there. Obviously, I'm just watching on TV, but I didn't
Mhm.
see the Benfica fans. I saw Guimarães fans
No,
pour
it was
out of
Guimarães.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, pour. I mean, they poured out. Like I thought somebody, like I was like
girl
somebody got
crying?
Yeah,
girl
that
crying.
girl
Like
crying
somebody
was
got
I
terrible.
thought
shot.
it was the
Like
gunshot.
who? Yeah,
Me
I thought
too,
somebody
man.
got shot or
It was
something. I'm like, what is going
it
on?
was
Like this.
Zaptardo. That was
I've never
thing.
seen anything like
And I
it.
told Mario because I see like the way it looks is it's the lower level and then the upper level. So it's the lower level are completely running down. And then I noticed as soon as they got into the ultra stands that they're hopping over benches, the ultras started running up. And I was like, oh my God, Mario, if it's some crazy ass lunatic with a goddamn gun and these ultras are all hyped up and they're like, let me at him. I was like, oh my God.
This is not the West. But
I know. See, that's the type of world I live in. I was like, oh my God, everybody stay safe. And if it's just idiots being idiots, I want to enjoy the goddamn game.
no,
Stop it.
it was. From
And I don't want to sound so one-sided, like I'm just Benfica. I mean, I would have to assume just the way it is, and I'm a young guy, I know how it goes. I would assume that there was maybe in the back there was something. Benfica had to start somewhere. Like I can't literally believe that Guimarães fans were fighting each other. It started somehow. I'm sure Benfica had something to do with it back there, but
I don't know.
nobody's ever really gonna
we
know.
Yeah,
Nobody's ever really gonna know.
We know how spicy. I mean, I'm not even sure if I used that word right. It was spicy. Spicy fans, spicy Guimarães fans. I'm gonna start
Up
using
in
that
Canada,
term.
we say saucy.
So, okay, saucy. So I don't know, but they're weird fans. So I mean, it's kind of weird how everything happened.
They're passionate.
They are, and
I
they're
can't hate
really
that.
mean too. So I mean, I got my Benfica scarf stolen from them when they weren't even playing. So that's kind of weird. I'll tell you that story one day if you want. But anyway,
really fast about the Guimarães fans. The Guimarães fans, the ultra, like Sporting has them, and Super Dragões, and
Everybody's got ultras, yeah.
O Diabos Vermelhos, the No Name Boys, which, by the way, they are clocks. They keep on saying they're not, but they are. They have at the data when they found it and everything. But anyway,
yeah.
The
We got
Guimarães,
emails.
Get over the clocks.
the Guimarães fans, the clocks, they're not saints, man. They hardcore, and
They're the worst fans in Portugal.
I'm telling you, they stopped a Sporting fan like 13 times last time they a few years ago.
Oh my God.
That was like last year.
Yeah. That they're not saints at all. They could be as bad as the Ultra Sporting Porto and Benfica fans.
No, they're worse. They are worse. I can tell you that.
And the guy they stopped, Cynthia, it was just a regular Joe wearing a Sporting jersey. He was not a part of the clock Sporting another. Yeah, that
was like you and Mario, basically.
No, and here's the thing is I'm here to watch my game. Like, get the hell out of my face,
Exactly.
Peter, I disagree with you that they're the worst fans because they haven't killed anybody yet.
Oh God, that's not.
I'll tell you right now, I'm a socio. I never killed anybody.
No,
but that doesn't mean that their fans are not the worst ones.
I know. No, they are. I don't think any Benfica fans stabbed another fan 14 times.
No,
so.
they just run them over.
Oh my God! No,
actually,
nobody knows about that.
If you do want to talk about that, I know it's off topic, but you guys, as soon as I said hostile territory, you all wanted to talk about the car. I just want to put you in my shoes. I'm normally the defensive driver, or designated, I mean, for any of my friends. They all get drunk and I'm the driver. So I'm a female. Being Portuguese culture, I've been taught that after 8 p.m., all the rapists and murderers come out, okay? So when I'm out, and my buddies, really, guys. So my buddies, they're all drunk out of their mind. They're useless. They have to throw up on the side of the highway, and then I go back onto the road normally. Fine. I'm driving. If I go past a goddamn stadium and there's a bunch of idiot dudes looking like they're going to try and take me out and rape me and kill me, fucking right, I'm going to run them over. I don't give a shit what you're wearing.
No,
it's unfortunate that it happened.
That wasn't the case.
That was not the case.
Well, how do you know? Were you guys there? I wasn't there.
No, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you how I know, because it just came out recently. They have 22 suspected of the no-name boys. They being charged for, and what happened was that the group of Benfiquistas, the ultra Benfiquistas, not because most of Benfiquistas are decent people. So these 22, they threw un foguete in Alvalade, and then the Sporting fans, the ultra Sporting fans, reacted upon it, and then this guy, which I don't know why the Benfiquistas are defending him, because he's a real piece of shit. His criminal record has 7 pages long.
I am not defending anyone for what's worth.
This guy's a piece of shit, the one who ran them over. He ran them over purposely. He went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So he killed him.
Okay, I wouldn't do that. I would just try to get the hell out of there.
Can I say one thing about this really quick?
One quick thing, and that's moving on.
Yeah, because I think it's a little extreme to blame soccer for what one idiot does.
Right?
No,
I think it's a reach.
Like,
I think it's a reach. I don't think
intent
right.
Comes from the person, not the club. Like
not the club, right?
Exactly,
I think it's a stretch.
That's beyond football.
I mean, almost everybody in Portugal. To be honest, let's all be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Oh no! Did we lose you when you were getting to a really good point? Aw.
I know. It looks like
Portugal. I mean, for the most part, right? I'm just
okay.
You're back. You're
back. Right? No, you got to start over. Everybody in Portugal.
All I mean is, it's a stretch to say that this guy ran this guy over because this guy's Benfica fan and this guy's, whatever X fan, what a Sporting or Porto. I think it's a stretch. I think that.
Or if they do that, it's not because of the club. It's just how they live their lives. Yeah. It's like such a big rivalry that's almost like a gang thing, and not actually a club thing.
Yes,
right? Yes. So at least we got that. Okay, thanks, Alex. That was a good point.
The only thing I'm against the Benfica president, Luis Vieira, it's he got him a lawyer. Why? Let him get.
I don't know.
Let him get a lawyer.
Everybody with that much money got a lawyer.
We cannot.
No. He got him. He got this guy a lawyer, a Benfica lawyer.
I know it's ridiculous. Why? I don't know why. But we got him.
I don't know. I can't.
Is he related to him or something?
I don't know.
No, he let Cap Verde. It's not related to him.
All right, guys. Whatever.
I don't know. Why would you get somebody a lawyer?
I don't know, because the no-name boys, each time they vote, it's like 26 votes. One vote is equal 26. So they basically the ones who voted Luis Vieira into president. So he has a lot of respect for them. That's why.
Okay. Not respect. He owes them a lot.
It's like
just like Pintacosta and the Super Dragões. Let's move on before I start talking shit, and I don't want to. And
you can.
No, we're running on time. I can't do that. Don't forget that I gotta wake up early tomorrow. You forget about that too.
I'm drinking tomorrow. And at the Tremozzi too. Let's go, bro.
Of course. Anyway. So everybody basically talked about the game. Bruno, you wanted to talk about the ref. Please do, tell me what you want us to say about the referee, and we'll answer your questions.
The first thing that we got to talk about, and I think everybody here made this. Well, 3 of you may disagree, is that Benfica should have ended with -2 guys with about 20 minutes to play. First guy that should have been red carded, no question about it, was E.T. E.T. had to get the red card. It's a direct elbow to the face. And yes, he caught him with another one. That was accidental, but the first one was definitely. But you want to give him a yellow card, that's fine. He still committed 2 other fouls after that, which he could have gotten a yellow card. He never got a second yellow.
You're talking about the Luizão play?
Luizão, it's o primeiro.
Yeah, E.T. I got it.
I was just trying to figure out what he was talking about.
Jesus.
I think that was
no, that was completely intentional. I mean, come on, that was intentional. You could tell that the guy went straight. I mean, he's even wearing an elbow pad just because he thinks he's wrestling. The second guy that has to get a red card, no question about it, is Villar.
Yes.
Svilar comes out of the box.
Yeah. Minute.
He comes out of the box.
Minute 57.
It's not even.
Wait, okay.
You guys know
Yeah.
He
nothing
comes out of the
about
box.
rules, then.
The ball is played into the box. We don't know if the ball is going to go in the goal. We don't know if the ball is going to go wide,
the ball-
over.
It's
It don't
not a
matter.
red
The
card.
ball
Ball's
is
not played
played.
into the box.
I
The
am
ball's
not
played in the
even
box.
I'm not even going to discuss that part with you guys because that is not a red card.
What?
If it's any other player, player in
Oi.
the field, it's a yellow. Bro, he came out. I don't even think that it's like. I think that the ball is kicked into his hand. That's what I even think. Even though he doesn't have the ball behind, he doesn't. He doesn't. I know he doesn't.
What?
But
Peter,
he didn't.
le-
I don't think he moved. I don't
Let me
think he moved.
let me
I
tell
don't
you
think
something,
he moved.
Peter.
I just don't
I'm
think he
going
moved
to say
his
something.
hand. I just don't think he moved
Peter,
his
I'm
hand
going
to
to
the
say
ball.
something.
In nome do
Ovla, Peter.
Espírito Santo.
Amen.
Amém.
Ovla, Peter. Ovla, listen real closely. I never want to hear a fan from Benfica ever talking about Vitor Bahia defending outside the box with his hands, because this was defending with his hands. You can say what you want. The guy came out and he's intentionally hangs out his arm. He plays the ball with his hand. It's a direct
If he
red.
did,
The
it's
guys
a
on
yellow,
the
it's not a
commentators.
No, it's a red card.
It's
That's
not
the
a
rule.
red.
The rule is a red card.
The commentators on the television, que é o César Peixoto, ex-Benfica player, and lá o lampião que cada vez que o Benfica ia atacar, quase tinha um
I don't
orgasmo
freaking
na televisão.
listen to your ridiculous commentaries on FTP Internacional. Sorry about that.
Pronto, I heard it, and they both said should have been a direct red.
It's
Both
not
of
a
them. Ele só vem vermelho.
Oh, Pedro, it is. That's the rule, Pedro. If any goalie in the world, it doesn't matter if it's a Benfica goalie, touches the ball outside the boxes, it's a red card. It's a red card.
Find me the rule that it says
All of a
that a
sudden
goalie
we're in
cannot touch
hospital.
the ball outside.
I will send it to you. Yes,
Find
I wouldn't do it now because
It's
I'm doing the
ridiculous.
podcast, but I'll
It's
send
ridiculous.
it to you.
It's ridiculous. If that's an actual
It's
rule,
not-
I'm just gonna
so-
say it's
so-
totally
so-
ridiculous. It's
so how
beyond
come-
absolute no shit. It's
how-
ridiculous.
no, it's
he
not
cannot.
ridiculous.
He cannot
Because-
be treated differently
No,
from
you
any
know-
other player.
you know
Sorry,
why it's
but
not
if
ridiculous?
Krovinovic, listen,
Because he's a goalie. He's got his box.
Listen to me. If Krovinovic grabs the ball in Guimarães' box with his hands, it's a yellow. If Svilar grabs the ball with his hands inside the Guimarães' box, it's a yellow. It cannot be a red card just because he's a goalkeeper. That's ridiculous notion.
No,
He's the same.
No, it's not ridiculous. That's the way. That's the way the law is. The
I
rule
think
So
I
you're
is.
telling me?
If-
So you're
I
telling
actually
me?
agree with
so you're-
Steph and Bruno. I'm pretty sure that is the rule, bud.
I don't care. Listen to this.
No,
We're inside.
Okay.
Listen to this. How does this make
Oh,
sense?
Pedro.
Just tell me if this
You're,
makes sense. Okay.
you're challenging a rule. You can't challenge a
God.
rule. That's the way it is.
Dude,
What
listen
you
to
want
me.
to
I just
reinvent the red lights and the green
Can I
lights?
just
You
say?
wanna
Can I
swap
just?
it now?
Can I just say one? Can I just say one thing? We're 90 minutes in, okay? For some reason, Benfica pulls every single player into Guimarães' box to try and score a goal. They fail. Krovinovic picks the ball up with his hands. I don't care why. He decides to pick up the ball up while still in play. He gets a yellow. If Svilar does the exact same thing, it's a red. It makes no sense.
No, but you're missing
No,
the point,
no, no,
Pedro,
no.
because I see what you're saying.
That's an
I see
active
what you're
play.
saying.
That's an active
That's not the play.
Yeah, that's
The
not the point.
Play is that the ball is played in the box and it could go to goal, or it could be played to someone that is in better position to score.
Score the goal.
That is a red card.
That is different. Now you're
Happened.
talking my language. Now you're talking.
That's
my
what
language.
happened, though.
It's not because he's a goalkeeper, but it's not.
But that's
because
what
he's a
happened.
goalkeeper. But
But
it's not
that's
because
what
he's a
happened.
What
goalkeeper.
interessa?
I don't think
It's-
that's what happened.
It's what happened.
You're
Sorry,
not
guys.
speaking my language.
It doesn't matter. That's what happened. It's a red card.
I
Anywhere
don't
in the
think
world,
that's
it's a
what
red
happened,
card.
but,
Except
if that's how the referee perceives the
Except-
play, I agree with you. But it's not because he's a goalkeeper. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
So-
not
so-
because
But
he's
it
a
doesn't
goalkeeper. That should
matter.
be a red.
You should have gotten a red card
Pedro.
regardless.
Oh, my God.
Pedro, sabes qual é o problema? Eu vou dizer, you know what the problem is? I'm going to tell you right now. This wasn't Champions League, because if this was Champions League, ia para a rua. Mas
Of
na
course
Liga
you would.
Portuguesa já não vai.
Yeah. Because we saw how the Champions League works too, right? With Andre Almeida and his penalty against CSKA Moscow, or a couple of years back with Lam handballing, in Munich against Benfica. We saw how those plays ended.
Os padres rezam uma missa diferente
Yeah,
lá na
of
Europa
course.
do que em
Yeah.
Portugal.
Totally against Portuguese teams. No, that's just ridiculous. if you guys tell me that that's what you think, I totally agree with you. But if you're telling me that a goalkeeper cannot touch the ball with his hand outside the box and it's always a red, it's ridiculous.
When
to
it's
me, and I won't
purposely
even...
done, when it's purposely done to avoid a pass or the goal going to the goal, it's a red card.
But it's any player. That's any player.
Quando é intencional,
Pedro, okay,
é red card. Quando é intencional.
Going forward, Pedro. Pedro, listen. Going forward, when Benfica plays, any goalkeeper that you guys play can defend outside the box. You take shots, you can come outside, you can smack the ball down, and you can only give him a yellow card.
Unless it's like he's saving a goal outside of his box, which you guys think that, and I'm like, okay, you have the right to think that. It's a red. If you don't see it that way, as the referee didn't see it that way, it's a yellow. That's all I'm trying to tell you, is that the referee had a different notion of the play. It's not because it's a goalkeeper. If he was Eliseo doing the exact same thing, I'm saying Eliseo because he was on the left side. If Eliseo was doing the same thing, it would have been a yellow.
I'm watching the play right now. He never touched the ball with his hands.
No, he did.
The ball. He kicked the ball.
He did.
The ball. But he didn't say. All right, look, wait. All right, he did. The ball went off of his hand.
Exactly.
All right,
but
so did he touch it or did not touch it?
Wait a minute. But you're saying that he can't go outside the box and play the ball with his hands. He did not play the ball with his hands. He played the ball with his body. The player kicked the ball into the box. Yes, he did, Bruno. I agree. Wait a minute.
That's it.
But wait a minute.
Conversation.
But wait a minute. He didn't play the ball with his hands, though.
Exactly.
What they called
it was an intentional
movement. Right. It wasn't intentional. It was unintentional.
It was
unintentional. Wait a minute.
It was intentional.
Let me finish. At that point, Svilar became a defender, right? He cannot play the ball with his hands. He did not play the ball with his hands. You have to go back and watch the play. He played the ball with his body. He boxes out.
The only mistake that he did.
The Guimarães player, wait a minute. The Guimarães player kicks the ball into the box. I agree with Bruno. Yes, he does. But what the ref called was an unintentional handball, and that's why he got the yellow and he didn't get it in direct red. He didn't dive at the player. He didn't dive at him.
He didn't even move his arm. He didn't
dive at him. He didn't move his arm at all. He played a box out like in basketball. You box out, you box the guy out, right? You box the guy out. That's what he was doing. He didn't play the ball like Ederson. Remember Ederson? Like was it last year? He got the direct red. Because he didn't play the ball at all. He played to kick the player. Right. He played right. I get it, but that was more definite on the goalie. That's a direct red on the goalie. This play right here, I'm watching it. He never plays the ball with his hands.
Move his arm.
The only mistake. He doesn't move his arm at all. He plays the box with his hands. The referee calls an unintentional handball, and that's what that play.
So why?
That's why he didn't get it.
Why would he give him a yellow card? Why would he give him a yellow card?
He did give him a yellow card. He did get a yellow card.
If it's not intentional, why would he give him a yellow card?
Because it's still a foul. It's still considered a foul.
It's considered a foul. If it's not intentional, it's not a foul then.
I don't think it's a foul. Like
you know that the refs do that game per game basis. You know that they're not consistent.
Well, then he called a direct handball. Then he called it. Excuse me. Then I'm mistake. You're right, Steph. I'm sorry. Then he called a direct. Then he called the handball. But you're saying that a goalie can't play the ball outside the box with his hands.
No. What we said.
He didn't do that.
What Bruno and I.
You guys did say that. You guys did say
that. Pedro. Let me say what I was thinking. When the Guimarães kicked the ball was going straight to the goal. And then Svilar, instead of putting his hands behind his back like most defenders do,
that's the only mistake that I think he did.
He didn't do it.
That's the mistake that I think he did, but it wasn't intentional. He doesn't even move his arm.
It wasn't intentional.
Aquele grande área, no Eliseu or another player from Benfica would be a penalty kick. But the defenders nowadays they know
they got the free kick. They got the free kick because of the yellow card.
They put their hands on their backs, but he didn't. He purposely left his arm out because he's a goalie. He's trained to do that. And then the ball
he didn't even think. Exactly. He didn't even react to. He didn't even think about
that. It should have already passed. It should have been a red card. It wasn't. It's a yellow card, which I agree with you guys. It's up to the referee. He called it a yellow. So then it's a yellow. But it could have been a red as well.
Listen, my only opinion is that if it's always a red, if he's denying a clear goal opportunity, the referee clearly decided. I don't care what you think. He clearly decided that play was not it,
and it was.
That's why he gave it a yellow.
The ball was going straight to the goal.
You can claim that. All I'm trying to tell you is that the referee said, "Hey, this isn't an intentional, handball that's denying a clear goal scoring opportunity, so he's going to get a yellow card. That's how we saw it. I personally think that he's 18. He made the mistake of coming out and not putting his hands behind the back. That's the only mistake that I think he did. But even then, I think that the Guimarães player kicked the ball against his hand. He considered, hey, that's a clear handball. He did.
He didn't kick the ball against his hand. He kicked the ball towards the goal. It was a shot to score.
You're saying like he put his hand out,
he didn't put his hand out.
He didn't go back for the ball. He didn't go back to save the ball.
No, he didn't even move. He didn't even move his arm slightly.
You have to look at the play.
I just watched it. He didn't move an inch, and I don't care. The referee thinks, hey, look, this isn't a goal scoring opportunity, but this is a handball, so he's gonna get a yellow card. That's how he saw it. You can disagree and say, hey, it's a goal scoring opportunity, it should have been a red. I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. But to say that the goalkeeper cannot do a handball because it's always a red card is ridiculous. Because that was what you guys were saying.
I mean, I agree with that. Listen. It's ridiculous.
Because that was what you were saying.
No, if he does it in an intentional way, it's a direct red. It's not me. It's the Portuguese.
But he didn't do that. That was my thing. But he didn't do that.
How many players
didn't do that?
If Svilar, like I said, if Svilar is in Guimarães' corner and he touches the ball with his hand on purpose, he's not going to get a red because no other player gets a red. So he's not going to get a red.
No, the rule is clear. If se faz em propósito, if it's intentional,
but nobody gives a red on that play. Like, not on this play. On the play that I'm saying.
But it wasn't intentional. That's my argument, though. My argument myself would be it wasn't an intentional handball. He didn't play the ball with his hands. He didn't dive. He didn't do anything. He played the ball. He played with his body, and the ball went off his hands. It was the ref's decision at that point.
I guess the referee fucked up when he showed him a yellow card. He shouldn't have gotten a yellow card then.
He shouldn't even call the foul, maybe.
Shouldn't even call the foul.
If that's what you want me to say, that's what I'll say.
He should have done it with his arms. There's nothing there because he doesn't think it's intentional. Because I do agree with Alex and you are saying, if the referee saw it like I see it, that he doesn't even move an inch on his arm. I do know that he's extending his body perimeter, but it's one of those things where it's not intentional in my point of view. So if the referee sees it non-intentional, it's not a handball. That's how I see it. Just, like the Herrera play where he, on his goal, that, the ball touches a Porto player's hand. The referee didn't see it as as him trying to play the ball. He didn't call a foul against Porto there. So, it's the same type of idea. That's what he should have done. He shouldn't have called a foul on Sevilla. That's how I see it.
You know what they should do? They should get rid of the box. Fuck it.
Okay, whatever. Okay, Bruno. I mean, besides these plays, because I know what you're going to say. Besides these plays, is there anybody else?
Fuck the box.
I mean, in terms of plays that were a little dubious, is that your question?
Yeah. There's one where I think players suddenly fouled a bit. I didn't see anything inside the box. I don't know.
Against Guimarães?
Mm-hmm. No, but
I don't remember seeing anything.
That was a bad mistake.
I don't remember seeing anything against Guimarães.
I know you never do though. Bruno, that you never do.
I tell him. He asked me a question. I'm going to answer.
So you only
my answer is no.
You only remember when it's against Benfica.
That's cool. That's cool. I just wanted to point out that was a play where I see a tug of Ruben Dias shorts, and Soares Dias is quick to call the foul on the Guimarães player. I think he could have played on. I think that Artur Soares Dias though has one. There's one thing about him. If he makes a mistake, everything else goes downhill. He cannot reassert himself and stay calm during the match. So if he makes a mistake, everything else is going to go downhill. I think there were a lot of 50-50 calls for either side. One or two plays where I don't think that that it's a foul here and there. I think that the Luizon play, to be honest with you, maybe I'm being biased. I can totally say that. I think that he's not looking at the player. If you guys think that he's looking at the player, then it's a red card. I don't doubt that. And this Villar play, we've already discussed it. So I think we're kind of done on the Benfica department, unless you guys want to say anything else.
No. I mean, I just don't know how Luizão finishes this game without a second yellow at least.
All right.
That's what I got to say about that.
All right. So I mean, we're gonna talk port, but you only got like 15, like 10, 15 minutes. So, I mean, I'm sorry about that, bro.
É normal, é normal. Eu não quero falar do Porto. I understand.
No, it's because I'm short on time, and we already passed 1 hour, so this one's gonna be like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So, so anyway, I'll give you the Porto lineup, and I'll let you speak about the game, and I'll let everybody go on after that. So, José Sá was in goal. You had Ricardo Pereira, Filipe Marcano, and Alex Telles across the back, so the usual backfield. Diego Reyes playing as a defensive midfielder. Herrera and Andre in the midfield. Brahimi and Hernani on the wings with Abubakar up front. Bruno, you're the Portista. You're the guest. What did you think about the game?
First half was very difficult. Belenenses, shut down. They didn't go there and play a high line like when Belenenses plays other teams in the league. They like to play a nice high line. They played very closed in the back. They attacked a lot. Or not attacked a lot. They didn't look to attack a lot. Porto attacked a lot. They tried to get the ball out wide. Hernani had to start. I thought this was a good game for Hernani to show something. He showed some things, but didn't show everything. I thought that he needed to show a little more. Brahimi is just a man right now. Right now, everything's going through him. I thought a guy that played very, very well was Andre. Tactically, he did he forced a lot of bad passes. Not recovered a lot of balls, but he forced a lot of bad passes, and that made Reyes actually look good because he recovered a lot of those bad passes. Herrera also played pretty well. I mean, he was considered the man of the match. He had an assist, he had a goal. Porto right now is playing well. I mean, attack-wise, Abubakar had a great finish. We should have finished the game much earlier. The game shouldn't have been 2-0 late. It should have been 2-0 much earlier. Porto created a lot of chances, and right now they're looking pretty good. And that was with some resistance. Because Belenenses did not want to go away very easy.
All right. Let me just ask you like a really quick question, and I think this is really important because this was my biggest pet peeve with considering Porto the favorite to win the league. Do you or do you not think that Porto need to go out and get a striker? Because as I see it, you're not always going to have Suarez, Marega, and Abubakar healthy, and right now Suarez and Marega are injured. Is that enough to attack the league?
I mean, right now they're evaluating the guys that are loaned out. You have Gonçalo Paciencia, who just got called to the national team, and he's doing a nice job at Setúbal. Rui Pedro scoring some goals at Boa Vista. He's doing a nice job there. So we have Galeno that's been promoted from the B team. He's basically on the A team now. We have a lot of hopes that this guy's going to turn into be a very big player for us. So would I say that Porto needs to go to the market and buy a player? The answer is no. I think we have enough guys that are loaned out where we can put into play with the team that we have, the way we play, and the way Sergio Conceição makes them play. Because if you look at, if you heard the Three Tugas podcast in the past, I'm extremely critical about Hector Herrera. And the one thing that Sergio Conceição has done with Hector Herrera this season, and I cannot deny, is that he is much quicker on the ball. He makes much quicker decisions on the ball, and he also passes the ball much quicker versus the other previous years where he was carrying more of the ball and making the pass two or three touches too late.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but you would agree with me that you need to get someone, even if it's back from one or from the B squad to help out on the striker department, or you say if we're in May with Abubakar, Marega and Suarez were good.
I say that I'm not going to touch the strikers at the moment. I honestly would not. That's just something I would not do. I think Abubakar can handle it. Oh, and don't forget one other guy. I forgot to mention this guy. Don't forget that Corona's original position is actually a striker because he plays on the national team for Mexico. That's who he plays for. He actually plays as a striker, as a 9. He doesn't play anywhere else other than a 9.
All right. I don't know if anybody wants to go at the Porto game so you can discuss it with Bruno, because I didn't watch it, so I don't know. Maybe Cynthia can go up against Bruno and start a flame war.
No, I'm really tired of Porto this year, so I don't want to talk to him about it.
We're only a third into the season, so he's already tired.
I'm so tired of Porto. Oh my god, every goddamn game. But whatever. Good for you.
He's like, bring it on.
I know. I'm like, God.
All right, so I guess we can talk about a couple plays. I mean, Steph,
yes,
maybe you want to talk.
Yes, of course I'm going to talk about it. What do you think?
Yay for Steph!
It's only against Benfica? No. I'm going to talk to my good friend Bruno. So what you're talking about? What's his name from Benfica? The center back.
Luiti.
Yeah.
Luiti. Follow Luiti.
Okay, you're talking about Luizão. What about Felipe? How the fuck can he hand up the game not getting a red card? Aquilo era distribuir.
Yeah, Bruno.
Thank you,
era distribuir fruta por todo lado, meu.
And that was the only one. That wasn't the only one missed.
Tell me.
Right now that there's a nice campaign going on, the anti Felipe campaign.
No.
Because
No.
Okay.
Because I'm not Benfiquista. I'm not in this campaign.
I'm
a Benfiquista and I'm a Felipe fan. I like him a lot.
I like him too. He's part of my.
But I like him a lot.
He's part of my team, of my fantasy team. That's not the point. The point is they gave him a carte blanche. He could do whatever he wanted that game. He didn't get a yellow card.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how it is. The first penalty that you guys are claiming that it's a penalty, I don't agree it's a penalty. Why? Because not even Diogo Viana complained there was a penalty. There was contact. It's a soft play. It's a soft call if you wanted a penalty. I don't believe in soft penalties. It's got to be very deliberate. It's got to be a major foul in the box for it to be a penalty, not a shove. Or not even, it wasn't even a shove. Because if we're going to talk about shoves, we're going to have to go back to a lot of games, and it's not even in the recent past, in which there was a lot of plays from Sporting and Benfica defenders that do the same thing, and no penalties were called. And no one complains about it. It's right now there's an anti-Felipe on because they don't want him to play.
I don't agree with you because I love Felipe. I think he's a great player. But from the first game that I saw him play, I thought that he fouled way too much. He's way too aggressive, and he does get away with a couple of things that other players wouldn't get away. It's not against him. I got nothing in an anti-Felipe campaign. I like him. I think he fouls too much, though. I do agree with that. I didn't see this game, so I can't speak for what Steph's saying. But, if he's saying, then he definitely saw something. And Felipe is known for making a lot of rash, stupid challenges and being
That's exactly
over-aggressive.
what you're saying. He's aggressive.
Yeah, listen.
Well, as a defender, you have to be aggressive.
Okay, Bruno. The only one that spoke about penalties against your club was you. You didn't see Cynthia, Pedro, Alex, or me talking about penalties. You're the one who did it. Maybe because they were self-conscious. I don't know, but
no, it's because it's already been brought up. It was already brought up on the 3-2 podcast. I know what you guys are referring to. So I watch all the shows, all the soccer shows, and everyone's been talking about it. And to me, none of them are penalties, in my opinion. There's the other one in which the guy runs into Felipe because they both meet in the same path. I don't agree that was a penalty.
Listen, all I'm saying is Felipe didn't even get a yellow card, and that's funny because he should have gotten at least a yellow card, but he didn't. So what kind of campaign is against Felipe if he doesn't even get a yellow card? There's no campaign then.
The campaign is pelas cartilhas. The campaign is pelas cartilhas.
Tu sabes qual é a campanha? É que the coach of Polícia Domingos, and did you read his interview? He said o Porto podia ter ganho com o resultado mais dilatado. Grande portista, foda-se.
Vlad, you do forget that who the president is of Belenenses, right?
It doesn't matter because who's put the plan?
Okay. Who pays o domingo? Sou eu?
Não, mas o Bolonense abriu as pernas ao Porto. You're talking about...
Abriu. He put 11 guys behind the ball and wouldn't try to attack, and he abriu as pernas, tá bem?
O teu melhor central nem um cartão amarelo levou, pá.
Então, é porque não cometeu faltas.
Pois não. Só deu fruta.
No, listen, I do think that it's kind of ridiculous that Domingos. I mean, if it was any other game, I'm pretty sure they would have spoke up about those plays, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that he lets that fly past him like it's nothing. I mean, I'm not saying that he did it on. I'm not a Steph. I'm not like a Steph where I think that he purposely let Porto win. But if he can soothe things, let's say it like that. If he can try not to mention it, not bring it up, he's probably gonna do it because of respect and because that was his club. So he's not as quick to talk about the refs. Maybe that's something that could wait on him. Just like the way that I think Mourinho, overstimulates Benfica. He overstimulated Benfica a lot, and I mean, I kind of appreciate it, but he doesn't have to do that. And I think Domingos might have, try to keep things low. I don't know.
I'm just going to read one sentence from his flash interview. One sentence. It'll take me 5 seconds. O Futebol Clube Porto teve mais lances na área, mas não teve lance que pudesse dilatar o jogo. Podíamos ter feito os gols, as coisas podiam ser diferentes. Mas o Porto mereceu ganhar e mereceu ganhar por muito mais.
Who the hell says that?
Well, what do you mean? Who
says that?
If you watch the game, Belenenses didn't really have. They had handful of.
Bruno, put yourself in his shoes, though. Would you say that?
How many times I've said it? I coach college, and how many times do I say when another team deserves to win, they deserve to probably even score more goals? I say it the way I see it. I call it the way I see it. I'm not here. I'm not here to be like, see, that's the whole Portuguese mentality. No. Listen, they deserve to win, and they deserve to win by more. We didn't do enough. That's it.
Especially if it's your club from your heart.
No, I deserve to lose. When I deserve to lose, I deserve to lose. And he's the same way. They didn't do enough to win the game. They did. They created a couple of chances. They could have capitalized on a couple of chances. They don't have the players to do it. Hey, agora azar. Now you got to jogar o teu campeonato, and that's it.
Agreed on that. I'm not questioning. I'm not questioning
Whatever.
Porto's victory. Porto, they won fair and square. But you can say Luizão isto e aquilo, and you're saying that Felipe is a saint because he's no fucking saint. He was falling like crazy as well. So if you're preaching to the choir saying Luizão and Coates, they deserve or André Pinto, because a lot of Portistas and Benfiquistas jumped on André Pinto saying he should have gotten the second yellow and the red card. So Felipe is no saint either. That's all I'm saying. He should have gotten at least a yellow card. He didn't even see a yellow card. So,
Vlad, nas palavras do Simão Sabrosa quando jogava no Benfica, se o árbitro não marcou é porque não viu.
Então pronto, está feito, está resolvido, está fixe então.
Okay. I don't know what else you guys. I mean, I would really appreciate if we could, start closing out the podcast. So I don't know if you guys have anything else to
Peter
say.
Pan,
Maybe
you're
something
never
you want
gonna
to discuss. I am. So I don't know. Maybe. And does anybody else have anything special to say, or can I, start asking a couple of questions maybe?
I love you.
Go ahead. Go with the questions.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. I just want to. I just want to ask Bruno. Because I want to know what he thinks. So I was on Twitter a couple of days ago when Benfica won their game and Sporting tied theirs, and I said Benfica everything's there for the taking. No team like Porto, for example, is going to win 33 out of 44 games. But you have 11 games, 10 wins. Do you see that continuing? Do you think that Porto is going to get a drop-off where they might drop points in 2 games in a row? Or do you think that they are really capable of winning, let's say 25, 26, 27 games?
I mean, listen, right now, Conceição has the team believing in themselves and in him. There's a lot of unity there. And when a coach has a team believing that they can play at a high level, and I'm going to tell you, the Portuguese league, after Porto Sport and Benfica, there's a drop-off. Guimarães is not as strong as they used to be because they're rebuilding. They lost a lot of key players. And let's not forget that Guimarães played against Benfica without their best player, which is Hurtado, because he went to the national team early. Braga is only starting to gel now. Porto beat him, should have beat him by more. Benfica beat him. Sporting drew with them. But right now, Braga is only starting to gel because they had so many new players. The chemistry is only starting to come around now. Everybody else, Paz Ferreira is terrible. Moreirense is terrible. Estoril is horrible. You have a lot of teams right now that are below average. So I hate to tell you, this league is going to be Porto's going to with the team that they have, they should be able to win.
Dog, Bruno.
28, 29 games.
Sorry, Bruno. What's that dog?
The
dog's upset about what Bruno's saying. That's so mean.
Is that Bruno's dog?
No, I don't have a dog.
That's mine. Sorry, that's mine, guys. Sorry.
Can you like mute your mic, Alex?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Chihuahua, pá.
Sorry, go ahead, Bruno.
O gajo chama-se Mantorras, o cão.
Não,
you upset him.
É aquele do Taco Bell, bro.
But I think overall, I think that Porto has a good chance to win, 27, 28 games the way they're playing. Right now there is nobody in the league because, we went to Sporting and everyone said it. All the experts said it. Porto had the better chances to win the game. It wasn't Sporting, and Sporting played at home.
But you didn't.
And I know we didn't.
They should have.
They should have, so we didn't.
You rest of bullshit.
They should have. I do agree with that. I do agree. But Bruno, final, make the point, do you think that Porto can win about 30 games?
No.
I think they can. They can. Now the question is... No, I can. Would I say that a year ago? I probably wouldn't have said that a year ago. But I think we can do it. The question is, are we going to be able to? And is the team deep enough? And, because there's a lot of injuries starting to happen.
I hope not.
There's some guys that are starting. But and then we also got to remember there's always the second half Paulinho on the south side of but that plays a major role because listen, you got to look at the last 2 years. The last 2 years, 2 years ago, Sporting dominated. They won. They made 86 points, and I think you guys only lost one game that second Volta.
Yeah. You want to know who they couldn't beat Benfica at the Alvalade? Not my problem. They couldn't even tie the game. That's on them.
And what about the other game? Hold on. What about the other games that they got the Paulinho from? Come on, let's be real.
The 92nd minute goal of Raul, the 70th something goal, that Raul scored against Rio Ave, all the 1-0 wins that we managed to pull off because of hard work, because of team determination.
You guys talking about my club? Listen. Didn't you say you wanted to end the podcast? Because
I do. I just wanted to get
we're going for another half an hour now. If you're gonna bring that up, we're going for another half an hour.
Okay, fine.
Well, fine. To me, I think we have the capability to do it. I honestly think that we have the capability to do it. The way they're playing, the way the team is believing in the system and in the coach, I think we can win a lot of games in the league. Outside of the league, I'm not sure. It's going to be very difficult to win more games outside the league because it's very balanced in our group in the Champions League.
Especially Philippe doesn't get any yellow cards.
Paulinho.
He doesn't get yellow cards in the Champions League either. So
yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
Well, like Steph said, I did want to close out the podcast. We've ran for about 1 hour and 25 minutes, so I think that's pretty good.
We had 5 people.
Yeah, I would like to appreciate. I would like to thank both Alex
I like
Bruno
to
for coming.
appreciate. Appreciate que caralho.
2,
I
4,
appreciate the
6, 8.
effort.
Who does Peter appreciate?
You appreciate
Everybody except
The
Gimenez.
Hey.
I love Guimarães, actually. They're my second favorite team in Portugal, but that's besides the point.
Yes, it is.
So, Bruno, thanks. Thank you for coming on. Really, it was really nice
No, I
having you.
appreciate the offer. It was fun having discussing some soccer with you guys. You know, you guys got to open your eyes a little bit.
Of
Hey,
Colinho
I
was
want
gonna
you
be
to
fun.
open your eyes too, Bruno.
Exactly.
Colingo is not just red. Colingo is green and blue
it's
and all
blue.
the other colors. There's
No,
lots.
Yeah.
no.
Don't
Listen,
start.
And listen, guys.
listen.
Steph.
I'm just going to finish really fast.
Mhm.
In regards Colinho, o
Mhm.
Benfica has a PhD degree. O Porto has a master's degree, and we only have a bachelor's degree. So
That's because
the
you're dumb. You dumb.
All right,
No.
Alex.
We're not as
thank you.
corrupted.
Thank you
Yeah,
for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It was fun. It was a lot of
banter, a lot
it
of
was a lot of fun, a lot of
discussion.
banter, a lot of it was fun, man. I had a great time,
Yeah,
and
it was
I hope we can do it again
sure.
Wait, we definitely got to do it
Pretty cool.
again.
for sure.
Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you, Chihuahua.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, I think it was
Yeah.
great. It actually added to Bruno's rant. It was great.
Yeah.
It did.
I
It
didn't
definitely did.
I didn't want to buy an alarm for the house, so I said we'll just get a dog.
See, there you go. There he goes off again.
Good
All right.
alarm.
She's
Well-
not Portista. She's not Portista.
All right. So, thank you, everybody that came on. Thank you, everybody that listened. That's us signing off for this week. We might do a podcast next week. We're not sure yet, but either way, we'll let you guys know via
We have
Twitter.
a lot to talk about. We should just do it.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll discuss it. I'm feeling lazy.
Listen, you guys were going to be discussing the national team, right?
Yeah, but they're friendly, so I mean, it's just like, ugh. But anyway, that's an unfair discussion. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you guys for sticking with us and listening throughout the whole show.
La 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 la.
Be back next
Don't
week.
do it, Steph.
La la la.
Don't do it.
It's the end of the show. Anda, Pedro, fala.
Benfica. I don't know. I got nothing
Here
to
we
say.
go.
We're over. We're over.
We over.
All right. Have a good
Viva
night, guys.
Sporting, Sporting,
No
Sporting.
Sporting.
Viva
No
Sporting.
Sporting. No Sporting. No Sporting. You don't